Lesson 39, Success and Failure. Successful Samantha has a long list of impressive accomplishments.
Successful Samantha has a long list of impressive accomplishments.
It seems like everything she does ends up being a phenomenal success.
It seems like everything she does ends up being a phenomenal success.
In her very first job, she created a highly effective way to motivate the company's employees.
In her very first job, she created a highly effective way to motivate the company's employees,
resulting in a dramatic improvement in workplace morale. Now she's developing a system for real-time translation among 100 different languages.
Now she's developing a system for real-time translation among 100 different languages.
If she can pull it off, it'll be an unprecedented success.
If she can pull it off, it could be an unprecedented success.
Unprecedented success. If she can pull it off, it'll be an unprecedented success.
Unprecedented success. If she can pull it off, it could be an unprecedented success.
Success in something for the first time in history.
Success in something for the first time in history.
And the crowning achievement. Best or most significant achievement.
Crowning achievement. Best or most significant achievement.
Of her career.
Crowning achievement of her careers.
So far, the program has enjoyed modest success. Some limited success. But there is still room for improvement. Potential for improvement. However, Samantha says that the team is making good progress.
The team is making good progress.
And that in the next month or two, she hopes to make a breakthrough. Make a sudden advance in success. Especially when you overcome an obstacle.
Make a sudden advance in success, especially when you overcome an obstacle.
Although Samantha is very ambitious, she's also a very likable person.
She is also a very likable person.
She brings out the best in other people. And quickly wins the respect of colleagues. Samantha's brother, Disastrous Dan, is the opposite. Everything he attempts seems to fail miserably. He wanted to be a doctor. But his teachers told him he wasn't smart enough. Dashing his hopes. Making him abandon hope. Of a career in medicine. He had the opportunity to do a prestigious internship in another country. But he lost his nerve. Lost his courage. And turned down the offer. He then applied for various jobs.
He then applied for various jobs,
but completely failed to show up to the interviews on time.
but completely failed to show up to the interviews on time.
He was eventually hired, but later
He was eventually hired,
lost his job during an economic downturn due to his mediocre performance.
but later lost his job during an economic downturn due to his mediocre performance.
Average work, not very special,
Average work, not very special,
and total lack of remarkable achievements.
and total lack of remarkable achievement.
Dan then tried to start his own software company to compete with Samantha's.
Dan then tried to start his own software company to compete with Samantha.
That was a spectacular failure.
That was a spectacular failure.
He invested his life savings in the business,
He invested his life savings in the business,
despite all his friends telling him that it would be a recipe for disaster.
despite all his friends telling him that it could be a recipe for disaster,
Very likely to result in disaster.
very likely to result in disaster.
His sales predictions were way off the mark.
His sales predictions was way off the mark,
Completely inaccurate.
completely inaccurate,
And the company went under.
and the company went under,
Lost all its money and shut down.
lost all its money and shut down.
Just 8 months after it was founded.
Just 8 months after it was founded.
Poor Dan, it seems like he's doomed to failure.
Poor Dan, it seemed like he doomed to failure,
Destined to be unsuccessful.
destined to be unsuccessful.
But if all else fails,
But if all else fails,
if everything is unsuccessful,
if everything is unsuccessful,
he can always move into Samantha's mansion as a last resort.
he can always move into Samantha's mansion as a last resort,
A final possibility.
or find a possibility.
Now, listen to and repeat the collocations about success and failure. Impressive accomplishments.
Impressive accomplishments.
A phenomenal success.
A phenomenal success.
Highly effective.
Highly effective.
A dramatic improvement.
Dramatic improvement.
Unprecedented success.
Unprecedented success.
Crowning achievement.
Crowning achievement.
Modest success.
Modest success.
Room for improvement.
Room for improvement.
Making good progress.
Making good progress.
Make a breakthrough.
Make a breakthrough.
Brings out the best.
Brings out the best.
Wins the respect.
Wins the respect.
Fail miserably.
Fail miserably.
Dashing his hopes.
Dashing his hopes.
Lost his nerve.
Lost his nerve.
Completely failed.
Completely failed.
Mediocre performance.
Mediocre performance.
Remarkable achievements.
Remarkable achievement.
Spectacular failure.
Spectacular failure.
A recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster.
Way off the mark.
Way off the mark.
Went under.
Went under.
Doomed to failure.
Doomed to failures.
If all else fails.
If all else fails.
As a last resort.
As a last resort.
Now take the quiz to practice the collocations.
Alright, thank you for listening. Bye. Ôi, mình xinh quá.